Eze was a rich trader in the village of Nduka. He had a big house and many servants. His wife, Ngozi, was beautiful and kind. They had everything they wanted except for one thing, a child. They tried for many years, but Ngozi could not have a baby. Eze was very sad about this. He loved Ngozi very much, but he also wanted a child to carry on his name. One day he called his best friend Nnamdi to his house. Nnamdi was a simple man, a farmer who worked hard every day. He was loyal and trusted Eze like a brother. "Eze, my friend, why do you look so worried?" Nnamdi asked, seeing the sadness in Eze's eyes. Eze sighed deeply. "Nnamdi, my brother, I need your help. Ngozi and I cannot have a child. The doctors have said that she cannot have a baby. I am very sad and I don't know what to do." Nnamdi felt sorry for his friend. "Eze, I'm sorry to hear this, but how can I help you with this problem?" Eze looked around to make sure no one was listening. "I want you to sleep with my wife, Ngozi," he whispered. Nnamdi was shocked. "What? Eze, are you serious? How can you ask me to do such a thing?" Eze held Nnamdi's hand. "I know it is a strange request, but I trust you more than anyone. I want you to help me have a child. Ngozi is also willing to do this. Please, Nnamdi, help us." Nnamdi was very confused. He did not know what to say. He wanted to help his friend, but this was a very big request. He thought about it for a long time. Finally, he agreed. "Eze, I will do this for you, but it must remain a secret. No one must ever know." Eze hugged his friend. "Thank you, Nnamdi. You're a true friend." The next day, Eze told Ngozi about the plan. She agreed, but she was also very nervous. She liked Nnamdi because he was kind and gentle. But she loved Eze. This was very difficult for her. At night, when the moon was high in the sky, Nnamdi came to Eze's house. Ngozi was waiting for him. They talked for a while, trying to make things less awkward. Nnamdi held Ngozi's hand and told her everything would be all right. After that night, Ngozi and Nnamdi met many times. Each time they felt closer to each other. Nnamdi began to feel something for Ngozi, but he tried to push it away. He knew she was Eze's wife and he was only helping his friend. Months passed and Ngozi became pregnant. Eze was very happy and thanked Nnamdi many times. Everyone in the village was happy for Eze and Ngozi. They did not know the secret behind the baby, but as Ngozi's belly grew bigger, she started to feel strange. She began to have dreams, strange dreams about Nnamdi and Eze. In her dreams, she saw a shadow following her. It was dark and scary, and it whispered secrets to her. She tried to ignore the dreams, but they kept coming back. One night, Ngozi had a terrible dream. She saw Nnamdi and Eze fighting. They were shouting and pushing each other. The shadow was there, laughing and whispering in her ear. She woke up in a cold sweat, her heart pounding. She decided to talk to Nnamdi about the dreams. "Nnamdi, I am scared. I keep having these dreams. They feel so real. I see you and Eze fighting and there is a dark shadow." Nnamdi held her hand. "Ngozi, they are just dreams. Do not worry, everything will be all right." But Ngozi could not shake the feeling that something bad was going to happen. She started to avoid Nnamdi, hoping the dreams would stop. But they only got worse. One evening, Eze came home early and found Ngozi crying. "Ngozi, my love, what is wrong?" he asked, holding her close. Ngozi looked into his eyes and decided to tell him about the dreams. "Eze, I am having bad dreams. I see you and Nnamdi fighting. There is a dark shadow that whispers to me." Eze frowned. "Dreams are just dreams, Ngozi. Do not worry about them. Nnamdi is our friend. He would never hurt us." But deep down, Eze started to feel uneasy. He wondered if the secret would stay hidden, or if it would come out and ruin everything. The days went by, and Ngozi's due date was getting closer. The whole village was excited about the new baby. But the tension between Eze and Nnamdi grew. They started to avoid each other, and their friendship began to feel strained. One day, Nnamdi came to Eze's house to check on Ngozi. Eze was not home, so Nnamdi and Ngozi talked for a while. They laughed and remembered the old times when things were simpler. But suddenly, Eze walked in and saw them together. He felt a sharp pang of jealousy. "What is going on here?" he shouted. Nnamdi stood up quickly. "Eze, I was just checking on Ngozi. She's almost due and I wanted to make sure she's all right." Eze's eyes were filled with anger. "You have done enough, Nnamdi. I think it is best if you stay away from my wife." Nnamdi was hurt. "Eze, I'm only trying to help. We agreed to this together." Ngozi started to cry. "Please do not fight. This is too much for me." Eze took a deep breath and calmed down. "You're right, Ngozi, I am sorry. Nnamdi, please forgive me. This whole situation is very difficult." Nnamdi nodded. "I understand, Eze. I'll give you some space." After that day, Nnamdi stayed away from Eze and Ngozi. He felt sad and lonely. He missed his friend and worried about Ngozi. He wondered if he had made a mistake by agreeing to help. Ngozi gave birth to a healthy baby boy. Eze was overjoyed and named the baby Chinedu, which means God leads. The village celebrated and everyone was happy for Eze and Ngozi. But Nnamdi felt a deep sadness. He could not share in their joy. He stayed away from the celebrations and spent his days working on his farm. He tried to forget about Ngozi and the baby, but it was very hard. One evening, as Nnamdi was working in his field, he saw a shadow moving in the distance. It looked like the shadow from Ngozi's dreams. He felt a chill run down his spine. He wondered if the shadow was real, or if he was just imagining things. The shadow seemed to come closer, and Nnamdi felt very scared. He picked up his hoe and prepared to defend himself. But the shadow stopped and spoke to him in a soft voice. "Nnamdi, do not be afraid. I'm here to help you," the shadow said. Nnamdi was confused. "Who are you? Why are you here?" The shadow laughed softly. "I am the spirit of the land. I have watched over this village for many years. I know about your secret and the pain it has caused you." Nnamdi felt a lump in his throat. "I did what I thought was right. I wanted to help my friend," the shadow nodded. "You have a good heart, Nnamdi, but secrets like these can cause great pain. You must find a way to make things right." Nnamdi thought about the shadow's words. He knew he needed to talk to Eze and Ngozi and find a way to heal their friendship. He decided to go to Eze's house the next day and tell him everything. But when Nnamdi arrived at Eze's house, he saw that something was wrong. Eze was shouting and Ngozi was crying. The baby was crying too, and the whole house was in chaos. Nnamdi rushed inside. "Eze, what is going on?" Eze turned to Nnamdi, his eyes filled with anger and sadness. "Ngozi told me everything. She told me about the dreams, about the shadow. She told me that she has feelings for you." Nnamdi felt his heart sink. "Eze, I never meant to hurt you. I only wanted to help." Eze shook his head. "I do not know what to think anymore. I trusted you, Nnamdi. You were like a brother to me." Ngozi stepped forward, tears streaming down her face. "Eze, please, do not blame Nnamdi. It was my fault too. I did not want to hurt you. I love you both." Eze looked at his wife and his friend. He felt a deep pain in his heart. He knew that things would never be the same. "I need time to think," he said quietly. "Please, leave me alone." Nnamdi and Ngozi left the house, feeling sad and lost. They did not know what the future would hold. They hoped that one day Eze would forgive them and that they could find a way to heal their broken friendship. As they walked away, the shadow watched them from a distance. It whispered softly, "Secrets have a way of coming to light, but with love and forgiveness, even the deepest wounds can heal." Days turned into weeks, and the tension in the village grew. Eze kept to himself, focusing on his trade and avoiding both Ngozi and Nnamdi. He was a respected man, and the villagers noticed the change in him, but no one dared to ask why. Ngozi tried to carry on with her daily activities, caring for little Chinedu, but her heart ached for Eze. She missed his laughter, his warmth, and his love. She often found herself standing at the window, looking out at the path, hoping to see Nnamdi, but he never came. Nnamdi, on the other hand, threw himself into his farming. He worked from dawn till dusk, trying to escape the guilt and sadness that plagued him. He missed his friend Eze and longed for the days when they were like brothers. He also missed Ngozi, but he knew he had to stay away to give Eze the space he needed. One evening, as the sun was setting, Nnamdi heard a soft knock on his door. He opened it to find Ngozi standing there, her eyes red from crying. "Ngozi, what are you doing here?" Nnamdi asked, surprised and worried. Ngozi stepped inside and closed the door behind her. "Nnamdi, I can't do this anymore. I need to talk to you." Nnamdi led her to a chair and sat down beside her. "What is it, Ngozi? What can I do to help? Ngozi took a deep breath. I love Eze, but I also care for you, Nnamdi. This situation is tearing me apart. Eze won't talk to me and I don't know what to do. Nnamdi felt a pang of sadness. I know, Ngozi, I miss Eze too. I wish there was a way to make things right.